Alrighty, Uncle Roddus with some more records to show. Been a build-up for the last few weeks. It is now nearing the end of November 2023. So now the other week, I was in town with the wife doing some chores, and there was a brand new JB Hi-Fi shop that we didn't know nothing about, and it had opened up right next to the Chemist Warehouse in South City Mall. And my wife goes to the Chemist Warehouse to pick up her stuff, makeups, woman stuff, and my toothpaste, shaving gear, etc. Blah blah. Anyway, so we didn't even know this shop was there, and apparently, and I discovered later in the day that it was the grand opening was the day before, and I saw an article about all these people that turned up to the opening, and so they had obviously a really big day on the Saturday, and we were there on the Sunday. So we popped in and had a quick nosy, and I went through the cheapy bins and found some actually pretty cool records. Don't shop at JB a lot, but it's actually worth going in there for the bargains, which is much better than the warehouse was when they were selling records. Their bargains were crap. So I've done reasonably well out of the, on the odd occasion that I go in and pick up some fairly cheap bargains. I mean, we're talking, apparently up in Auckland they have some $5 bargains. They just chuck a whole lot of records that they can't get rid of in the bins for $5. I haven't seen anything like that down here. Saying that the JB Hi-Fi shops here, I think, or what I've seen them so far, this new one isn't as good as the one in Riccarton. Not as much selection, not as much records, but much better than the ones I saw when I was in Aussie. Although I did pick up a couple of records over there in the bins at JB which I showed before. So I picked up this one, Kelsey Weldon, No Regular Dog, from 2022. And this is kind of, country Americana. It's okay. It's not as good as I was hoping, but I'd never heard of her, to be honest, but I could figure it out by looking at it and reading some of the stuff on it, that on the back of it, that it was kind of a, Americana country record. So, it's not bad. It's pretty cool. I mean, it was worth it, and I'm enjoying it, but I wouldn't say it's great. I'm sure there are better ones, but I like that sort of music. And then I picked up this one on the cheap. This is actually a Blue Note reissue from 2021, originally from 1975. Now, fancy dancer Bobby Humphrey. Now, this is a woman player, Bobby. Yeah, this is that really funky, soulful jazz stuff that they put out in the 70s on Blue Note. Now, I've got those Blue Note breakbeat compilations that were put out back in the late 90s, mid 90s, that put together a whole lot of really funky stuff from the 70s that came out on Blue Note, and that was sampled by all the rappers in the late 80s, early 90s. And this is that sort of music. This is really good. I'm very, very impressed. I've been wondering when I was going to come across some of that kind of 70s soul funk, jazzy sort of stuff from Blue Note, because for so many reissues. Then I picked up the latest Duran Jones and the Indications, Private Space. This is pretty cool. This is funky soul music, contemporary. I'm still getting to grips with it. Maybe it's not as good as the earlier couple that I've picked up, but I have got, I think, all of the albums. I love the vinyl. This is on this purple marble. This is really nice vinyl. And it sounds really nice. It's very, very quiet vinyl, so it's a good pressing, done a good job of it. yeah, there was one track, and I don't remember which one it was now, that did stand out for me, which was very impressive. But anyway, I'm sure that I will get to like it more because it is a pretty good record, and I do like Duran Jones, and he is a fantastic vocalist. And then the last one from that little expedition, or from that little visit to JB Hi-Fi, which I really want to get there. They're having a sale this week actually, and I would love to get there and see what other Blue Notes, because I have seen some Blue Notes there on reissues on sale. So I picked this one up. I mean, these are only, like I say, they're only about $20, $25 each. So apparently she's done a whole series of these Nights Of, and this is 60s country classic, Lucinda Williams. Not quite what I was expecting from her. I thought she might have given it a bit of her own, put a bit of her own personality into the songs. I mean, she does, I guess, in a way. I mean, just the fact that she's singing them with that voice of hers. But you know, she doesn't. She does them very straight. I think they're pretty straight to the originals, and the sort of music that's on here is not something that I would probably buy normally, the original form. But I think it's slowly growing on me. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that she didn't kind of stamp her own identity a little bit more onto those songs. I'm not sure what the other ones she's done are like, but I know she did the Tom Petty one and a couple of others. And then last weekend we were in town. I did get to the record shop. We didn't get to Penny Lane. It was actually my wife's birthday last weekend, and so we went into town, went out for lunch, went to a movie of her choice, and then she wanted to go 10-pin bowling, so we did that. That was embarrassing. Both of us are absolutely useless at it. But we went, and she wanted to look at some of the second-hand antique junk shops and bookshops down in Woolston area, and once in a blue moon I found a record for $2 at the St. John's, no, I don't know, one of those kind of big second-hand chain shops. So Renaissance Prologue from 1972. Yeah, EMI, New Zealand pressing, gatefold, progressive, symphonic, club rock. Really quite good. I used to have their first album many years ago, actually. Originally, the band had got, I think it was some guy from the Yardbirds when they broke up and he formed the band, but the lineup had changed by this record. I think this is their third record, actually. Anyway, I've had a listen to this a couple of times, and yeah, definitely a good score for $2. I'm really impressed. Right, so quickly moving on, because I do have a limited amount of time on these videos on this camera. Playing in the background is this Shepherd's Rain double LP, Alamai. This is Polynesian heavy rock metal. You can hear it playing in the background. I believe this may be their first LP on Golden Robot Records. It's at the more commercial end of the hard rock spectrum, so it means there's some nice melodic guitar playing. People who are into alien weaponry will like this. Now this is the more Polynesian Samoa maybe version of that, so they sing in Māori. These guys I'm pretty sure are singing in Samoan perhaps. Not 100% sure. Yeah, actually there it is. Yeah, the music of Samoa. Yeah, it must be. I'm pretty sure it must be Samoan. So, yeah, so we got to Penny Lane today because I did my yearly deposit into town of my big pile of scrap copper from the last year, plus a lot of other metals, some of which we'd pulled out of this house, framings for our wardrobes and stuff we pulled out of the house when we did it all up. And so I had quite a swag of money when I walked into the shop, so I caught up with a whole bunch of New Zealand releases that are on my want list, which I haven't been able to purchase because the funds haven't been really. Oh, and I haven't really been wanting to go for all of them, but some of these are pretty cool. First of all, Ringlets. This is their, I'm pretty sure, their debut record. It's out on Leather Jacket Records, which is a local boutique label here in Christchurch, who are putting out some pretty cool things. You might not be able to see that very clearly, but it's on a very dark marbled vinyl. I can't say too much about this band because I know nothing about them or anything. So I'll have to wait and see. But I have got most of I've got all of the long playing records out on Leather Jacket Records. They did the Playthings. They did something else. Can't think what it is right now. Anyway, let's crack on. Ebony Lamb, this is her first solo record, and she was the lead singer of a band called Ebon Sparrow, who I really like, who did a very quite strong Americana influenced couple of records a few years ago. Both of them I really like. I think the first one I like the best. So this is her solo record. I don't know what it's going to be like because I haven't heard it yet, but it's had some pretty good feedback from some of the guys on Facebook that have it, and some people that I kind of respect their taste in music. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. And it is on a nice red vinyl. So everybody's doing the coloured stuff, aren't they, really? Well, not everybody. I mean, I didn't pick up all the records that I picked up today, and not all on coloured vinyl. So yeah, really looking forward to listening to Ebony Lamb because, she's great. She's a good singer, and the band that she used to be in was really good. I really enjoyed them, so high hopes for that. So trying to catch up with a few of the latest Flying Nuns. So I was a little bit behind on the latest Flying Nun releases. This one is on this clear vinyl. This is called Office Dog. The album's called Spiel. Flying Nun, 623. And there's a guy in this called Kane Strang, who is vocals and guitar. Now, Kane had done some solo albums. I think they've got one of. He did a couple of solo albums. I've got one of them, I think. Don't know the other two guys. It's a three-piece band. So Flying Nun are consistently putting out pretty good albums. Really, they haven't done anything bad that I can think of for a very long time, if ever. Well, maybe back in the day, but contemporary-wise, they are, putting out a lot of good albums, and it's starting to be a bit more diverse, the music that they're putting out. Vorsen, this is songs written and performed, recorded and mixed by John Halverson between 1991 and 2023. And John Halverson is one of the members of my most awesomely favourite New Zealand band, the Gordons, from 1980, early 80s, and also from Belter Space. So he hasn't obviously been doing too much sort of solo stuff over the years, because he's only managed to fill up one album in 30 plus years. This is on this kind of really crimsony marble vinyl, which is really nice. So I haven't seen too many people talking about this one, but one of my friends on Facebook and that I know had picked up a copy of it the other day, although I haven't heard what he thought of it yet. So that will be interesting. Finally picked up a copy of this, which I've kind of been... It's one of those records which I wanted to get, and I'd seen it around, and then it disappeared off the scene, and then so I missed out on it, and I didn't think I'd see a copy again. But I mean, it wasn't something I had to buy no matter what, but it was something I thought I'd pick up eventually. Inside a Quiet Mind, Micronism. This is a electronica record. This is on Loop Recordings, and it was originally released on CD in 1998. The reissue is dated from 2017. I got a feeling that this is a repress from this year. It had a hype sticker on the front said something about record of this, or reissued record of the year for 23 or some kind of crap like that. I don't know how serious that was, but nice to pick up a copy of that. And also in a similar vein, Electronica is the 25th anniversary of the Nomad. This is called Infinite. This is a double LP and it's a compilation, I believe, on Cog Transmissions. Now, originally this came out as a limited edition pressing of 300, which is what this is. So I was actually surprised to pick this up because they sort of disappeared pretty quickly, but obviously not all of them. Now the funny thing was that they had 2 copies in the shop and they were priced differently, and this was the more expensive of the 2. Now the other copy was a white cover of very much a similar thing. Turned out it was the same record, but it was the tour version. So they toured in support of this record, and that was the version they were selling on tour. And apparently it's white vinyl, not black. This is just plain black, which surprised me, being the limited edition version and the more pricier of the 2. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know how many of the clear vinyl ones they put out. I'm slightly familiar with the Nomad from back in the early 2000s, late 80s. I mean, when I say 25th anniversary, so again, this is around 1998 when they started up, similar time to the Micronism. Anyway, another new one from 112 Records, excellent label. I have shown a few from them over the last few weeks because they have been quite busy this year releasing new records. This one is purely on black vinyl. I'm not too sure what this is going to be like, but as you can see on the front of it, this is Golden Goose, Bird of the Year 2023. I got a feeling this is going to be pretty punky. If you look at that, there's a kind of a, record's finished, hang on. Ramones imitation on the cover. So that will probably give you some idea of what is going to be on this record. But I'd pretty much buy everything off 112 Records because they are such a great label and they put out such good records, and I have yet to buy a dud. I think I've had one which took me a bit longer to get into than the rest of them, but they are very good. Now I finally picked up a copy of this. So the Alpaca Brothers from 2022. This is on Zell Records, so it kind of helps complete my Zell Records collection. I think I've got pretty much everything on Zell Records. I'm not sure if they even put out any 7 inches. If they did, I won't have them. I saw them play live down there last year at the Zellfest concert, which was a disappointing weekend because the sound system was absolute shit, and it got confirmed to me when I went down for Lines of Flight about a month ago, because we were in the same venue for 3 of the sessions, and the sound in there was really, really good. Anyway, these guys played live. I've been humming and hawing about this because I wasn't really sure. It's completely different from what they did. They only ever put out one EP back in the mid-80s, which is absolutely fantastic. It was on Flying Nun. It's one of the best EPs out in New Zealand, but this is a lot different. I mean, this is 40 years later, obviously. Still the same people, pretty much. And saying that, one of the songs I've heard on Chris's podcast a few times, and it's starting to grow on me. This is number 171, so it's a limited edition, but I'm not sure of how many copies. I might be guessing at around about 200. And then a couple more. I picked up 13 records today with my copper money. Ernie Bell's new record, Not Your Cupid. Again, on Flying Nun. This is her second record. I have her first one. I quite enjoyed it. On this red vinyl. So this is getting pretty good reviews so far that I've seen. So don't know what it'll be like, but like I say, I did enjoy her first record. So this is sort of singer-songwriter, indie, pop-y sort of stuff. This one here is a band who I've got a couple of records from already, but who have rebranded themselves. So it was the Purple Pilgrims, they used to be called. Now they're called Clementine Valentine, which is actually the name of the two girls in the band. They are sisters. And I got the hype sticker off the outside wrapping, and then I put it on upside down on the cover, which really pissed me off. I really like the Purple Pilgrims. They are really cool, atmospheric, dream poppy music. But what I didn't like about their records, especially their last one, was all of the distortion. And I know that some people kind of like doing that, and they record these records, and then they kind of put this distortion right over the top of them. And I remember hearing Brian Ferry talk about that on one of the records he was mastering on Melted Ice Cream a few years back. And I thought, why do they do that? It's still good music. Actually, Lowe's last record was really bad like that too. It's actually put me off the record a bit because it was just done a bit too much. Looking forward to hearing this and seeing if they've still done the same thing, because the girls, they do have great harmonies together. And speaking of Melted Ice Cream, here is the latest record from the World Series, the Giants' Lawn, on coloured vinyl. Yep. The guy at the record shop said he really, really, really liked this album. As a matter of fact, he said this is one of his favourite New Zealand bands. I really did like their first LP. I mean, I haven't played it a lot, but I did like it. That being said, yeah, I haven't played it very much as I should have. Did see them live a few times before they put out their first LP, and I really enjoyed them, and I thought they had a real Flying Nun sound to them, actually. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like and how they've progressed. So yeah, Melted Ice Cream is another label who it's worth picking up most of what they put out because they're pretty damn good. And the last record I picked up today, well actually it was the first one I grabbed out of the box, out of the bins this morning, is The Last Will and Testament of Hamish Kilgore of The Clean. So this is a band called Sunday Painters. Hamish was playing in this band just before his untimely death late last year, almost a year ago now. He was playing with Alec Bathgate, Paul Keane, and his wife from the Bats and Mini Snap. What is her name? I know her name. Come on. It's here somewhere. Alec. It's Alec Bathgate, because I mean these are pretty famous New Zealand musicians. Hamish was on the drums. Oh, Kay Woodward. That's her. God, yeah, Kay's really nice. She's a lovely lady. I've spoken to her a couple of times. So yeah, 4 older legends of New Zealand music, but unfortunately Hamish passed away late last year under suspicious circumstances, I think. He just disappeared and they found his body about a week and a half later on. So I really don't know what happened, but I had my suspicions. So they put out a single. I saw them play live about the time the single came out, and then this album has come out as a posthumous release on a bright yellow vinyl. And this is actually on Leather Jacket Records too, as well. So that was the other record I was probably thinking of Leather Jacket Records. So great local release there, and a little bit sadly tinged. But a friend of mine picked this up last weekend, as well as that other record I mentioned that he picked up, the Vorsen one. He has highly recommended this, and so did the guy at the counter at the shop. He said this was absolutely stunning record and a beautiful record, he said. Okay, so that's quite a few records there over the last month or so. So hopefully I want to get into, on the weekend, we are going into town again for chores and stuff. So hopefully I want to get to a shop called Right On Super Sound, who I haven't been to for a long time because they're never open when I'm in town. They open at silly hours because it's kind of a volunteer shop and all sorts of crap. So Yeah, they've got a couple of, well, at least one record I know of. Hopefully, if I can still get it, that they've got that I want, so I can get it there. But I wouldn't mind getting into JB Hi-Fi's again and having a look at their Blue Note collection, see if we can pick up any bargains. So that's the weekend. So maybe another video next week. I've also got a record on Discogs, first on Discogs I've purchased for a long time, of a big want lister from New Zealand band, whose record was never reissued. The first two records I've got, one on CD. It was a reissue, but there's a new reissue of their second LP. Original copies go for $500, $600, $700, so I will never have one of those. So I've ordered the reissue. So looking forward to that coming, and you'll see that probably in my next video. Okay, cheers, bye.